Hello, assalamu alaikum, khush aamdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to PTV World. This is your very own Shiza Hashmi. Well, I do realize this must be an unusual time for me to be appearing on the screens of PTV World, but I'm doing this very happily and very proudly, and right now is the reason I'm going to tell you why. Well, the reason is, ladies and gentlemen, for so long, don't you get to hear a lot of things about actions or tasks that are gender discriminatory. Today on my show, we are going to be talking about things that have a perfect kind of gender balance, of course. And the best or the celebratory part of it is that actually in my own lifetime, I'm seeing women, especially women in business, rise up to the peak and be at the level where men are, or where men were supposed to be, because let's just face it, I'm not really happy to say this, but this particular industry is definitely male dominant. And let's just not ignore the fact that the population of Pakistan happens to have more than 50% of females in it. So just imagine if the females who are eligible to work or do a business of their own or have a job of their own were all to come out of their houses and work. Can you believe the GDP of Pakistan would actually increase threefolds? Isn't that amazing? This is the Pakistan I am actually looking forward to. But here's the thing, for this specific show, I am going to be in conversation with some amazing businesswomen who are a part of the Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce and Industry, but that is not the only purpose they're serving today. They actually, connected most of the women in business from all different sorts of background, from all different cities of Pakistan. They came together, sat down, discussed the issues that they still are facing, are persistent, especially now that we are going through a pandemic, and then they connected them to the right people in the government so that their voices would be heard. Isn't that amazing? And if you were to talk about the religion itself, for an example, let's just take Hazrat Khadija Raziyallahu anha for that matter, who herself happened to be a businesswoman. So the religion is not stopping you. Or let's talk about Qaid's quote for that matter, where he said that this is the right time for all the men and women to, just stand up and walk shoulder to shoulder if we were to achieve a prosperous Pakistan. This is what I'm doing here. We're talking about a prosperous Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen. And if I were to talk, I would go on and on, but without further ado, I think it's the very right time to be introducing my perfect panel of amazing women over here who have definitely inspired me, because I'll tell you what, this is my childhood dream to actually have a business of my own. So I think it's safe to say I'm starstruck right now because they are my ideals, definitely. First of all, the organizer for this very event, well, let me just also give you a brief history of what happened today. Today was All Pakistan's Women Business Convention, where what happened I already mentioned, and this does actually run under the auspices of RCCI. And the convener for this very event, or the Standing Committee on Women Entrepreneurs, happens to be Ms. Noreen Ghaffar, who is herself a networking specialist and a businesswoman, of course. Hello, Ms. Noreen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
It's absolutely my pleasure, and like I said, I'm starstruck. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, another member of RCCI, of course. She is also the ex-convener of similar conventions. But the very interesting part is the kind of business she does. I've never heard of it before. Of course, it's export-import, but a part that deals with dry fruits of Pakistan as well, and then serving the tourism sector too. She's none other than Ms. Fawzia Qazi. Hello, assalamu alaikum, welcome.
Thank you very much. Walaikum salam.
So it's absolutely great to have you over here, like I already mentioned. Cannot wait to begin my conversation, but before that, we have someone who happens to be an entrepreneur in the IT sector. I think it's safe to say that. She can correct me if I'm wrong. She's the CEO for Red Marker Systems, also for Pernia Couture. She's none other than Ms. Gulzeba Jawad. Assalamu alaikum, welcome, Gulzeba.
Salam. Thank you so much for having me.
So I think, Ms. Noreen, I'm going to begin with you. I have already said a lot, and I'm maybe moving towards a parched throat right now. So why don't you tell my audience what this convention was about?
This convention has been happening by Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce and Industry for this year it was the 4th convention.
Oh, amazing.
So the basic idea is all the women-led chambers, whatever challenges they are facing, they should come on one platform.
All right.
And address to the relevant authorities where a change can be brought into their business.
Right.
That is the primary idea.
Okay.
Then we also, in this conference, ensure that there are resources are exchanged among chambers.
That's nice.
Then resources of all nature. It can be knowledge base, it can be venue, it can be the discounts that we give. Those things can be availed.
Perfect.
So networking opportunities, because we're sitting in our chambers, we don't collaborate, we don't interact, and this is where women are lacking.
Right. And you're providing them a platform.
Yeah, we are providing them a networking and collaborating opportunities.
That's perfect. But Ms. Noreen, you were the convener this time, so
Yes.
you must have sort of, visualized this event. This is what I want to happen. Did it all come like you visioned it to be?
Yes,
Okay.
it did this time, because I've been engaged in this activity for the last 3 years. This is the 4th year. So this year I'm in the front,
Oh,
but I
right.
was working at the back end. This year, whatever we wanted to achieve, that connecting the dots, the new normal, has happened.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. And all the women chamber presidents, they all agreed to the fact
All
that we
right.
should join hands together, hold hands, and work towards the betterment of the economy at large. Because it has been witnessed
Okay.
that when men support women, you're talking about a much better Pakistan.
Of course.
Because, as you mentioned when you started, you mentioned Hazrat Khadija Raziyallahu anha. When men and women, they walk together,
Yes.
you're talking on equality or gender balance basis. So on the basis of that, all the women, they have accepted this fact and they're joining hands.
Which
That's
is
the
amazing.
best part. This is the best part. And we have signed a lot of MOUs,
Yes.
Memorandum of Understanding,
Absolutely.
for various opportunities that might come our way.
And that is great. We'll definitely come to that in detail. But where you said that, it's men and women, I don't even like to believe in the terms anymore when it comes to work or when it comes to the workspace itself, right? I mean, I think gone are the days, it's 2021 already. Why are we still discriminating among genders? But like I already said, RCCI is quite progressive and we are headed in the right direction. Moving on to Ms. Fauzia, what were the outcomes of today's event that you had anticipated and they actually happened? And how do you feel about it?
It's a great feeling because, whatever outcome we have planned to, we would say that, yes, the short term or the immediate outcome has been achieved.
Really, that's
That, as
nice.
Noreen said, that it's the interaction, it's the connection, it's learning from each other, and it's like discussing the kind of issues and challenges among each other.
Right.
And apart from that, one of the important aspects is that throughout this format we have our relevant institution like the TDAP and FPR, so those speakers were in. So basically it's not only the interactive part, but it's also like getting all the technical backstopping or the kind of information
Right.
which they really need in their businesses. So that outcome, I think so that has been that kind
Achieved.
of that has been achieved.
Okay.
And apart from that, the most important and the beautiful aspect of this event is like we all the women chambers, because they're in itself it's an institution. Every chamber is an institution.
Right.
So when they come together and when they talk about the policy issues which these chambers are facing, that means that they are talking about the issues which are really at the ground level too. So they are not talking about their own institution only, but the women who is just sitting at her home and she is working on her skills and craft and those things. So I mean the outcome is just amazing. And if you talk
Right.
about the long-term impact or the long-term effect of it, so we came up with the declaration,
Okay.
which is basically the kind of document on which we in the previous years too, and now we are going to advocate all these women chamber presidents
Right.
along with the host who is the Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce.
Amazing.
So we are going to advocate on those sort of recommendations. And I'm glad to tell you that last year, out of 8 recommendations in the previous declaration, I guess 3 of them were, they were fulfilled by the government system.
amazing. Yes.
So it's not only just to come and have this conference and just end everything, but it's just to come with a very tangible and solid solution.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on that, first of all. And I think it's amazing to actually see such a platform, because when you talk about chambers of commerce and industry, they're not technically, well, the sarkari work that you think of or belongs to the government, right? It's the perfect bridge between the locals and the government. And that is what you did when you talk about awareness in forms of taxation, for that matter, or just to know the laws of imports and export. It's amazing. But Ms. Kulzeba, now we are going through a pandemic since more than a year now. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. And a lot of MSMEs actually took a massive hit because of it. So can you, in a gist, sort of tell us what the declaration from this convention held, some of the most common issues that women faced in business this year?
Thank you so much. It's very interesting how you have actually arranged us, because I was vice chairperson 2 years back, then Fawzia was chairperson, and then Noreen was chairperson.
Perfect.
And as you said, RCCI is very progressive chamber than others. So I had been a part of any different committee since last 3 years. So this year I'm convener for the education.
Perfect.
As long as this convention is concerned, then I am a part of this convention since last 3 years. And the interesting part is that it's not only building the network for these women chambers, it's also building the women of, mainstream chambers also.
Got it.
We have had a very strong network because of these women chambers. This convention is bringing a lot of opportunities to us also.
Okay.
Along with that, when it comes to declaration, every time we're giving certain recommendations to government for policy documents, for certain, tax relaxations, for different facilitation programs. Some of them are, yes, implemented as Fawzia said, but some of them have not been implemented yet. And we would like to actually urge government on this, that whatever recommendations were given last time, we'll be actually following up these from RCCI platform. And whatever we are going to give this after the convention, tomorrow is the All Pakistan presidents from All Pakistan chambers also.
Right.
So after the convention, the recommendations will be given to the government and the TDAP and different organizations related.
Great.
So hopefully it will be implemented this year, and the remaining one from the last year.
From the last year, inshallah, we hope so as well. Inshallah. But ladies, I want you all to answer this one, and quite honestly though, because I have personally been in conversation with women who are reluctant to start up their business, because of course there's so many matters that come at hand. Sometimes they have to be a housewife, they can't actually work. Sometimes it's just the family pressure, sometimes they don't have the capital, whatnot. Is it absolutely necessary for a woman starting up a business or in business to be a part of a chamber formally?
Yes.
Yes, and why so, please?
I believe it's one of the most organized organizations to deal with.
Okay.
If what I believe in, because when I started my business, I first came to the chamber, I visited different departments, I got to have the hands-on experience as to what are the things, and Rawalpindi Chamber gives you the opportunity to attend the conferences to the startup businesses as well, so that they get to know what is the importance of being part of the mainstream chamber.
Right.
When you become part of a mainstream chamber, the primary objective which I have witnessed, you get into the filtration process of fraudulent people.
Oh, so important.
Yes, because all those members who are associated with the chamber, they are taxpayers.
Okay.
They are established businesses. They have a good network.
Okay.
And chambers helps you in building onto your outreach, not only local but international.
Absolutely.
Through different conferences, through different exhibitions, international and local. When you go in a delegation, you do B2B more.
Right.
Because our primary focus is to increase onto our international trade.
Okay.
So when you talk about international trade, you talk about standardization, following the ISO, following the UCP.
Okay.
These are very, very important elements which any business person has got to know.
And Ms. Noreen, would you also say that if you weren't a part of RCCI, would you be the same, would you be the same Ms. Noreen that is now?
I would not be the same Ms. Noreen Ghaffar. Reason being, I'm a very emotional person.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but since I joined here, I have polished myself.
Okay.
I've got to learn on to the patience that is required, because business requires a lot of patience.
It does actually.
And when you become part of the chambers, there are circumstances where you really are doing something very good, but you're not recognized for your job.
Okay.
So under that matter, I always quote Hazrat Ali Raziyallahu anhu's quote.
Yes.
Everything happens at its appointed time.
Absolutely.
So we should not be losing on to our hope and continue to do what you do. So it has polished me so well that I'm sitting here today.
Mashallah, mashallah. And you're also, mashallah, training the newer women in business as well, which is amazing. The same question for you though, Ms. Fawzia. Do women in business actually need to be a part of a formal chamber?
Actually, I mean, even then if they didn't want to be part of, but they have to be part of. Like if you, right now, the economy is going towards the documented form.
Yeah.
In any way, you need to have your business register if you want to go to a mega level. To a broader level, you have to be a registered entity first thing, and you need to have your NTN. So. And you need to be part of some formal business structure or body, and it's none other than chambers.
Chamber, absolutely.
And because you need to have legitimacy of your entity is there. I mean your business legitimacy is there. But when you say that you are a member of Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce or you are chairperson of Chamber of Commerce, so it has a very highlighting and legitimate effect.
It does.
The first thing is this. Secondly, which I experienced being part of this chamber since last 3 years, I was a very introvert kind of person.
Okay.
I was not like, I'm right now sitting here and you are interviewing me. I mean, it would have been a dream. I mean,
and you're doing great, let me just say that.
Yeah, unfinished dream. But it's the Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce. Primarily, they have groomed us. I mean, the chamber is giving us the platform that, I mean, we have to deliver on that platform. We have to come forward and we have to deliver. They just push us. I mean, I was the chairperson last time, so I was a bit, what I will do, how can I move on? But these friends, these colleagues, and the executive and the leadership. I mean, it's done, and it was done very well. And if you talk about my own personality, the kind of confidence which I have now, it was not there. And the other beautiful aspect which I want to share, because of this exposure of given by this chamber, Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce, I was able to become a bridge between Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce and Hunza Chamber of Commerce. That's my native place.
That's great.
So I'm also member of that chamber, and it was such a beautiful experience that this chamber, it's running since 52 years.
It is.
And that chamber, it's a baby chamber and a very nascent one.
Okay.
So those has been connected. So why it has been connected? So as that at the back, the women who is sitting in the mountain and having her embroidery, and the women who is sitting here and preparing their masalas and everything. So we have to come up and we have to help them out.
And that makes sense as well. Hunza is where the dry fruits come in from. That
so
is
you
where
got, yes,
I got
makes
it.
sense. Yes, you got it.
Perfect. So Ms. Kulzeba, the same question for you, but also adding on to that. Now, again, coming to the pandemic, let me just say that FPCCI actually put on their website, it's a survey, and I'm pretty sure it's not exactly accurate because this is an average of the answer, right? 60% of profit loss to SMEs. And speaking of them, if they were a part of RCCI, and since you are all, of course, partners, how would you make sure that the business is sustainable, moves on, and how would you come in to actually help them?
Okay, thank you. So first to your first question.
Yes.
What RCCI is bringing for us and what we are actually bringing to RCCI.
Yes.
So first part is that, okay, empowered women are actually empowering women, right? So we are the face of RCCI.
Perfect.
Right. So if somebody will see we growing and our businesses are growing and we are also growing, professional development or personal development on both sides. So that will actually help and enable the other women to come into the chamber, and that will actually motivate and initiate that process to make mainstream chambers very active for women also. Other than that, when somebody I am a part of this like 4-5 years, so wherever we go, we are actually recognized by the name of RCCI. So whenever somebody is asking me, okay, what is RCCI giving you and what benefits you get out of it?
Why are you still associated with it?
Why are you still associated with it? So I always tell that, it's such a beautiful platform that it's actually giving you not just networking. We three are sitting here and we have 30 more along with us.
Yes.
So that's a very strong network also. Along with that, the mainstream, the industrialists, the business people of RCCI, Rawalpindi city. Along with that, it's not just empowering women for the case of, in the photos or so.
Okay.
They are actually making us a part of every main event.
Okay.
There are multiple events like International Rawal Expo, there is International Gem and Jewelry Expo, there is International Achievement Awards, there is International President's Conference. So we are a part of every conference, every event. So that is a very, very important learning point for us, and that is actually giving us a very good opportunity to network also.
Perfect.
Alongside, it may not give me a direct business opportunity, right? But it will actually connect me wherever I want
To the right people.
to the right people. But again, we being women are very, thoda short-sighted, a little emotional too, and we want everything else to be done by someone else. But we have to do our homework and we have to be responsible the way we want to connect actually. Which I just can't go to RCCI and say, okay, you have to grow my business, right?
True.
But I can actually go to them and I can tell them, okay, I want to meet this specific person, please set my meeting or so. So that is something where we are getting the real benefit out of it.
That is absolutely perfect.
Coming to your next question, the COVID scenario and the women entrepreneur scenario, we have globally about if I'm not wrong, 244 million women entrepreneurs, right?
Okay.
34% are women entrepreneurs.
Nice.
Out of that, hardly 1% women entrepreneurs are in Pakistan.
Oh.
And you can have
It's
a
not
very
a
good
good number.
idea that, okay, in last 1 year, what is the status of these women entrepreneurs now at the moment? If we three are sitting here, we are running like multiple businesses, but obviously we are also serving, right? So,
Yes.
and we are actually, if we can't do anything else, we can actually just handhold. You can, we can actually motivate these women. We can actually just, support. Sometimes it's not just financial support which is important. Sometimes that moral support is
Moral
very
support
important.
is absolutely so
Rawalpindi
important.
Chamber is the only chamber which has been very, very active throughout this Corona time.
Okay, that's nice.
We were not closed at that time. That was very active in Corona time, distributing ration, providing medicines, distributing different.
Ms. Kulzeba, do hold on to that thought because I want to talk about it in detail.
Okay.
RCCI, the Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce and Industry, along with others, of course, are actually really responsible when it comes to serving their community. There are just so many programs under your umbrella. I want to talk about them in detail and then what you three individually do in terms of your business, of course, to my understanding it, for women out there to be inspired. But right after this very short break, ladies and gentlemen, so please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Take care. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PTV World. This is Shiza Hashmi, and today I am in conversation with some amazing women in business who are actually bridging the gap between the locals and the government, of course. So before we did go out on a short break, I was in conversation with all the community service project, with these women about the community service project that the Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce and Industry is doing. Well, here's the thing, a lot of chambers actually all across the country are definitely doing some amazing work, but at this very moment, we are specifically going to be talking about RCCI. So, Ms. Noreen, why don't you take it away and let us know about all the projects?
RCCI, being one of the most vibrant chambers, is following almost all the 15, 14 minimum SDGs.
Perfect.
We work on SDG, RCCI Dastarkhan, where we feed poor people on a daily basis at 3 locations in Rawalpindi.
Amazing.
And in Ramzan, every day we serve minimum 1,500 to 2,000 people.
Mashallah.
Mashallah.
That's amazing.
This is just because of our members' support that they donate.
Everyone pitches in.
Everyone pitches in.
Nice.
Then we have the youth, global, we celebrate the global entrepreneurship for the youth. So we empower youth in different campaigns. Then we have a project for beautification of Rawalpindi under the umbrella of glorious Rawalpindi.
And you guys now have a monument outside your office, RCCI office.
Yes,
I love it.
So we initiated the idea, then a lot of government organizations, they started joining hands, and now you see a different Rawalpindi. You see the beauty coming out. So Alhamdulillah, things are happening.
Nice.
So we are the only chamber building which is green,
Wow.
solar. When we save onto the electricity, so it's all connected. Then we're working on the water conservation,
Oh, so
rainwater
important.
conservation. So we have that facility also on board. So these are some of the things that are happening.
I mean, you know what really makes me happy with RCCI especially, now you guys are not endorsing it, I'm not paid to do this, but because I've been in conversation with them before as well. Along with this, of course, you guys are cognizant of the, changes going on environmentally as well. Yes, that's a good thing. But also promoting, like we said, non-traditional businesses. So for example, now here's one to quote, there are international conventions happening almost every year where RCCI arranges and then participates as well. So there was this one woman coming from a very, I want to say, underprivileged background actually. So she started her own business of stitching clothes or uniforms for that matter. And she went on one of these conferences, and can you guys believe she actually got an order for 25,000 uniforms for different companies?
Yes, absolutely.
How amazing is that? I mean,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure her day was made.
Yes,
Mashallah. So Ms. Fozia, can you please let us know about some of the similar or other non-traditional businesses that you came across
Yeah.
while being in RCCI?
Yeah, if I see my friends and colleagues, so they are into they are into traditional businesses also,
Okay.
like the stitching and beauty parlors and those kind of stuff. But besides that, they are into non-traditional, challenging business too. I myself, I'm a tour operator.
Yes.
Yes, along with the Nature's Best. I mean, my brand name. I'm into dry fruit also, but this
Tourism
tour business is like. There are very less women who are like
Indeed.
tour operator.
Indeed.
And beside that, women are also into HRD in manpower.
Human resource
overseas,
development.
yeah, human resource development.
Got it.
And there are many more non-traditional sector where women are like contributing. Although it's a bit challenging being into a non-traditional area, but the chamber is there to support them and to help them. So they are there, you know. Yeah.
But I think now is also the right time to talk about the tourism, especially in the pandemic.
Yeah.
What were some of the compromises you and your business had to make during this few months, or more than a year actually?
I mean, yes, it's almost a year, so it's almost like things were freezed. I mean, we were not able to like
I mean,
have
not
our
the
tours
foreigners
and-
actually, even locals
No,
weren't
even
going.
locals, they were not able to. I mean, for the rainy season, one should have, should have something in savings. So
something in mind,
we
yes.
had that, and we just move on with that minimal kind of expenses.
Mashallah.
But also it also gave us the opportunity. I would say that this COVID thing has given us the opportunity to think differently. Also, we were with the same frame of mind that okay, business is going on and clients are coming in and our tours are being operated and everything. But the different scenario is there. The COVID was there, and it gave us a sort of opportunity to rethink on our usual framework of doing our business.
Got it.
So I mean, this has given me the opportunity. Like if I take my case, this has given me the opportunity to work more on my dry fruit kind of thing, which is like the organic stuff. And before or even after the pandemic, the use and utilization has increased. So I'm not getting rid of my tourism business.
It will
but
reopen,
at the same
inshallah.
time, it will reopen, inshallah. So one need to, women are thinking of diversifying their business due to this, pandemic. So I mean, it's also an opportunity that was there. Besides that, there were many. I was not very much afraid of my own business, but
Okay.
at that time when I was having this portfolio of chairpersonship of Women's Standing Committee, there were many women at the back who were my member, and even then those who were not my member, they were
Yes.
calling us, like as Gul said, that it's not only the financial support, but the moral support
Morals,
which they
yeah.
need in such kind of situation. And they took a few of the women. I mean, we have advised them, and we just discussed with them, and we have advised them that look, okay, this business, your business, present business is fine, but if you can like do this thing, not spending too much on this, and people have come up with some successful, interventions.
And you know what, Ms. Fozia, what I love even more about what you've said is that you were on your toes about being ready to transition with the requirement of the time as well.
Yes.
And that is, I think, a very good sign of a leader, yes, and then a businesswoman to survive and be sustainable as well.
Yeah.
Which leads me to you, Ms. Gulzeba, because I know that maybe this was because of the pandemic, you actually had to transition and actually move to digitized solutions of the education system. It was so massively compromised over this past year, right? A lot of students dropping out and classes not going on. This is where the red marker systems came in as well. Let me know about it, and what are your plans of expanding it? Was it an entirely a pandemic thing to do because it's digitized?
It was not really a pandemic thing to do because I was doing it since like 2018.
Oh, perfect.
And we started building the product in 2017, then registered the business in 2018, and 19 we started the marketing of the products and so. But interestingly, when I started the marketing of the product, this is a novel idea, and being a novel idea and very innovative, something when you are working in public sector, and it's very difficult, to convince them and to adopt something which is very new and to bring that change in the society. What we are talking about. So it was mainly online on-screen marking of descriptive papers. Along with that, it was item bank development and paper generation, something which government is exactly talking about now.
Right, in terms of standardization.
In terms of changing the current education scenario.
Got it.
So when the COVID happened, the good part was, although there were many bad parts, but the good part was, okay, where we have to convince people that this is something very new which you need to adopt. People were already convinced, okay, everything can happen online.
Yeah.
So
we had no other option.
that brought a little facilitation for us because everything that was accepted automatically.
Absolutely.
Other than that, we have actually validated the product with different boards, different educational foundations. At the moment, we are in the pipeline with working with different boards and foundations also.
That's nice.
On other side, when it comes to RCCI, when you can actually, wherever you have to connect that dot, where you have to go and where you have to meet, you can actually do that from RCCI. But other than RCCI and other than, one Rawalpindi chamber or Rawalpindi, if we think nationally, so in nation building, I believe that women empowerment is very important, and this is actually the time, because if we are at a tipping point, if we will not adopt something like that now, we'll be actually on a very, devastating side.
True.
Right, because
we're at the brink of it
why
already,
we have to actually empower women or raise women into entrepreneurs, because it's interest of every single person of Pakistan, of government. If we are not going to economically empower them, we are not going to actually grow economically in any case.
True. That is so.
And something which is actually if we have to match it internationally, that is something where we are not very close to even it. International standards, right?
So we're on our way. I mean, slow and steady maybe wins the
But
race.
actually, we have talked about the problems a lot. Like, I think we should be talking about the solutions now.
Absolutely.
Because that is something where we need to actually start working on networking, connecting the dots, and then again, in chambers, among chambers, as there were about 12 chambers today present in this convention.
Yes.
So they have actually mentioned their problems, and most of the solutions they have actually got from other chambers also.
Okay.
Because some of them are working on different projects, and they might have, they have no idea what other chambers are working on.
Right.
So that's how you actually work something. If I am working on, and I know Fozia is working, and then we can also connect other than the chamber or the whatever the business we are into.
That's great. But you know what? Both of you actually need to answer something, and I don't want to make it political, but I want you both to answer it because, of course, you guys have been in businesses for long. So I really believe in the fact that the incumbent government has actually made and was really focused on creating a conducive environments for business to grow and then, of course, expand as well. I want you both to think about it. Did it actually create a conducive environment? While I move on to Ms. Noreen over here. And you answer me first of all, yes, there are so many feathers in your caps. Mashallah, you're a realtor, you're a network specialist, so much you're doing. But one thing I want to talk in particular is the Incubation Center for Women Businesses. Yes. Amazing, first of all. Congratulations on that. Now let me know about it.
Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce and Industry is the only chamber in the entire Pakistan who has state-of-art Women Business Incubation Center.
Amazing.
And it's right in the Pindi city.
Right.
And
within the facility of
within
RCCI.
the facility of RCCI.
Okay.
And there is a process that we have a filtration process for startup businesses, women. We nurture their idea. we connect them to the relevant resources. We do the capacity building.
Okay.
And with respect to different businesses, we get them attached to the different mentors.
Perfect.
Because RCCI has a huge network. We are
Right.
in MOU with different organizations, so relevant mentors are there.
Okay.
So we get them connected to the relevant mentors. And the very, very important fact, which I mentioned, networking specialist.
Yes, you are.
So women lack networking.
Okay.
We got to work on onto our interpersonal skills, because interpersonal skills help you in building onto your network, because your network is equal to your net worth, so which is access to finance thing has been solved. Then your network also helps you in synergies and collaboration, which helps you utilize onto the sustainability and growth of your business.
True.
So women business incubation inculcate all these very elements which I have summarized for you.
Yes.
So
Perfect.
at the moment,
How long has it been though?
it's been 3 years.
Okay.
It's in practice. In the pandemic, because women, we were not allowed to work from home and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So we have connected them on Zoom. We've trained them on virtual platform, and we had for the first time, International Virtual Ravel Expo. So they participated in that. They got the hands-on international experience by participating in the International Virtual Expo.
That is very nice,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty impressed as well. I think I need to be a part of it too. But now towards the end, you ladies need to answer first of all. Do you think this is the right time for all the people who are thinking or who have plans of developing a business? Is the environment conducive like PTI promised, first of all? And then I want you to say some inspirational words for all the women out there watching you right now who are, yes, you too, of course, who are, probably double-minded about making a decision to finally take the leap and start their business. Ms. Kozeba, I want to begin with you.
Yes, if you want to start your own business, again, registering it and then becoming a part of the chamber is something which is very important. As Noreen mentioned, Women Incubation Center. So just imagine if I have started my business 17 years back, and if I was a part of chamber at that time,
Yes.
so I would have been at a different level at now at
Yeah,
this moment, right? Chamber I joined 3-4 years back, but if I was a part since last 17 years, so I would have been at a different level. How? Because you become a part of every meeting in the chamber, you become a part of, you get to connect with ministers, diplomats, you get to connect different opportunities which you're not getting otherwise while sitting in your offices.
All right.
Other than that, how conducive environment PTI has provided, yet I guess we yet need to build that ecosystem which will enable women to be truly empowered economically and otherwise too.
Okay.
Right?
That's
One thing, and then other part is that we actually need, we all talk about gender equality, but we can talk about gender equality only when we are giving them the right opportunities to both sides.
true. Of course.
So we need to actually provide the women the right opportunities, and then we should start talking about gender equality. We need
That
to
is
build
true.
that enabling environment for these women, so that we've actually, for that particular matter, I've built my own social enterprise during this pandemic.
Okay.
With the name of Hamkar, where I'm trying to connect different dots, that as in case of access to finance and market both.
All right.
And where we are trying to connect women entrepreneurs, women chambers, potential women entrepreneurs, and different women entrepreneurs, so those who want to actually get some finance. We actually lack in so many different things. But wherever we lack, we can actually provide the solution, right?
Right.
Sometimes
That
it's
is-
your legal structure, sometimes it's your documentation, sometimes it's your finance, sometimes it's your market, sometimes it's selling online, sometimes it's training, product development, branding. There are so many areas where we are working at the moment.
And that is brilliant. And where you said that we do talk about gender discrimination and empowering women, but the opportunities are missing. I actually slightly beg to differ on that. Yes, while opportunities might not be available for everyone out there, because of course different backgrounds, different approach and whatnot, but I think it's a good time to actually, to think positive. Yes, I'm seeing you amazing women, and I'm really, I'm not even flattering, I'm really inspired. So I think it's a good time to move on as well. So some inspirational words from both of you to all the women watching out there. Ms. Fozia, please.
The only thing is, when there is a will, there is a way. So this is the time the ladies must come up and must have a strong will. You ask about enabling environment. The environment is there, and actually the person, the lady, the women who is who wants to be in the business must have their own will and inspiration. The environment is there, the enabling things are there. It's what us. We need to connect and we need to grab and get it.
Ms. Noreen, for you, this is the closing note, all right? So wrap the show up for us.
Believe in yourself. There is no harm in trying.
Absolutely.
Important thing is that you should stand up and start doing it.
And start somewhere at least. Thank you so much for saying that. You guys were amazing. And I think a lot of people who are watching right now must have been inspired by your stories and looking forward to probably, well, joining RCCI for that matter as well.
Absolutely, they should.
Right? They should.
They should not even think for a single second and join it.
Join
Join
RCCI.
it, yes.
Perfect. This is what Ms. Noreen has to say. But thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for all of those who just tuned in or probably did miss the show. This was about a Women in Business Festival in Pakistan generally. And these three, on behalf of RCCI, were talking about the issues faced by women. And then, of course, they did come up with the solutions as well. This was a very fruitful discussion. But again, if you did miss it, you can catch the uploaded link of it on the YouTube page of BTV World. You can definitely catch all the minutes in it as well. Till the next time, please take care. It was a great time for me. I hope for you too as well. Bye-bye.